Good morning, first graders. This is Miss Woodruff here. I'd like to introduce our brand new writing unit on realistic fiction writing. This is one of my absolute favorite writing units, and it's so much fun to create some new characters and come up with all the different adventures that they go on and see what kind of trouble your character gets into, and of course, how your character gets out of trouble. So today, for our first day of realistic fiction writing, I just want to give you an idea of what you can expect for each day of our writing process and how it's going to begin. So if you follow along in this slideshow on realistic fiction writing, when you click through, I'll be putting in the introduction to realistic fiction video that I'm creating right now. And on our first day, which is on Tuesday, April 7th for realistic fiction, you're going to figure out what is realistic fiction? And the way that you're going to do that is by first listening to one of my all-time favorite series in first grade, which is Henry and Mudge. Now, you may be familiar with the stories of Henry and Mudge, a boy and his dog. And it's so important to kind of see how a series begins, and you're going to have the chance to listen to Henry and Mudge, the first book. Now, as you're listening, I want you to think about the characters in the story, the setting of the story, where it takes place, and what are the events that could happen in real life. Because realistic fiction is creating stories that are made up but could happen in real life. That's the most important part. So in this book, you're not going to see any zombies. You're not going to see any aliens. You're not going to see any purple dogs. You are going to see events and characters that could be existing and happening in real life. After you think about that and listen to that story, I want you to think about some of the questions that I asked at the bottom. Now, on our next slide is when you're going to really dive into your learning, and you're going to be watching a series of videos created by a professional teacher, and she created realistic fiction videos that are going to guide your learning for the day. This first learning video is just going to help you understand what realistic fiction is. And after you listen to the video, you're going to do some brainstorming for your own writing. Today, you're not going to do any actual writing. You're going to do a lot of thinking about your writing and a lot of planning for your writing. So you might want to answer, who will your pretend character be? Will it be a boy or a girl? Will they be young or will they be older? Give your character a name. And maybe think of some adventures that your character likes to go on, some things that they like to do. And then you're going to tell your story across your 5 fingers. Now, you can tell your story to a parent, a sibling, or even your pet. It doesn't really matter. But all you need to think about is who's your character going to be for this first book, and then imagine some different adventures that they like to go on. When you do some work today, you can use the Create a Character sheet to help you think of some ideas. You can print it out if you prefer to handwrite, or you can go ahead and click in each of these boxes to type. When you go to type, make sure you are not showing the slideshow in present mode. You have to be in the editing mode. So you can click into each box and brainstorm some ideas about how you're going to create your character. Now, moving forward, when you do get to your writing parts, I supplied you with some writing tools or a little writing toolkit for you to use at home. Now, normally when we're at school, we have these tools right in our classroom, like our green dictionaries, words I use when I write. We have our word pond or our sight word wall. We have our foundations charts, but I realize that we don't have that right now. So every day when you go into your writing, there are special slides that are going to act as your writing toolkit. This is a note to your parents about spelling and what we expect in first grade. Now, inventive spelling is completely appropriate for first grade. We expect that students are able to listen to sounds and write the sounds that they hear. Some of the strategies that we use for spelling are on these ways to spell words chart. And this is how first graders are able to sound out words that they know and want to write. When it comes to sight words, these need to be spelled to the best of their ability. Since we have learned 125 words in first grade so far, those are words that they should be able to spell by now. They're words that they need to know in a snap. Their sight words are not words that they can tap out on their fingers. They can't be sounded out and aren't phonetically correct. So in the next slides, I provided a Fry sight word list for the first 125 words. And then I also have a foundation spelling patterns chart. These are charts that are directly in our classroom and can help students be able to remember all of the different spelling patterns that we've learned. Now, in first grade, we don't expect first graders to be able to apply all of these vowel teams yet. That will be a skill that they start to master towards second grade. But the vowel teams are sounds that we can hear, and the chart helps us be able to recognize them in our reading and writing. So I'd like them to focus mostly on this chart where they can mark their words. Now, they don't need to mark words in their writing, but it will help them remember what we have gone over. The R-controlled sounds are sounds that they can also use in their writing. So let this just be a resource to your child and to better support them in spelling their words. These charts will be included every single day for writing and can be used throughout the process. So today, I want you to get excited to make up some pretend characters, learn more about realistic fiction, and you're going to have so much fun thinking of your pretend characters and all the adventures that they get to go on. All right, first graders, off you go to write. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.